Okay, here we go, part 3 of this lesson. 3 more licks here, and you know, the idea with all these lessons that I'm doing now that are in 3 parts is that they get progressively more difficult as you go through them. So 1 is the easiest, 2 is a little bit more difficult, 3 is the most difficult. In this case, you know, the licks aren't necessarily difficult, but the thought behind them is a little more complicated. So this is a little bit more jazz influenced. Not that I'm a really experienced jazz player at all, but just some basic jazz type ideas of transitioning between the chords in a little bit more of a sophisticated way. The first 2 lessons were really straightforward. They're mostly the pentatonic scale, and they really just focus on hitting target notes every time you land on a new chord. So when you land on the B flat chord, you're hitting the root in the major third of B flat in some way. When you land on the 4 chord, you're emphasizing the root and maybe the flat 7. And then you land on the F chord, maybe you're emphasizing the minor third of F in the root. So very basic concepts. You're playing 1 scale and you're just landing on some chord target notes. The 3 licks here, the transition between the chords is a little more sophisticated, going through kind of intermediary chords between the chords. Just some more advanced concepts. So I think some interesting ideas here to explore. So I'll go through each of the licks as I always do, and kind of talk about the thought behind them all. So with that, let's get into lick 1 here. I'll play through it really slowly, and then I'll kind of talk through the notes and what's going through my head as I'm playing this. So the first one is transitioning from the E flat 7 to the B flat 7. So when we're approaching the E flat 7, it goes like this, and then we'll go back to the B flat 7. So to the E flat 7, we got this. So some interesting little notes there. The really interesting note is really this sliding up to this 10th fret on the 2nd string here. So why is that interesting? Well, it's interesting because note that does not fall on the E flat 7 chord at all, right? Sounds pretty weird, actually. The first notes do, so that sounds really good, right? That's territory we've been in before. We're landing on the the major third of E flat there. That's the major 6th, so it's a little bit different, but that 11th fret on the 2nd string isn't so bad because that's the 5th of E flat 7, but that note right there, that's still weird. So why is that there? And basically what's happening is I'm playing a target note from the 5th of B flat 7. So in other words, a target note from the F7 chord. So it's the background and the chords are going like this. The notes I'm playing are more like this. So that 10th, notice that that is the major third of the F chord. So I'm kind of coloring a fifth chord before the B flat 7, which is something that jazz improvisers do. They don't necessarily play strictly over the chords that are being played. They transition between the chords smoothly, and insert notes from other chords before getting to back to the root chord. So a common chord progression is going from the 5 to the 1, right? The 5 chord, the F, resolves really nicely to the B flat 7. So basically what I'm doing there is I'm coloring a chord that transitions nicely into the B flat 7. So even though the F7 chord isn't actually being played in the background, it kind of works because it would work if I played a 5 chord before the 1. It resolves nicely. So it's just kind of a way to think about it is if you can play the chords over the backing track, then you can play the notes within those chords over the backing track, right? Those notes within those chords will sound good, can sound good anyway. So more chromatics here, and then this concept of playing notes from the 5th of the B flat 7 before the B flat 7, even though we're not playing that chord in the background. It's kind of an interesting topic, and it's kind of the next level up of improvising, right? You have a much more awareness of the transition between the chords. You're seeing more between the chords than just what to hit right when you land on that chord. You're figuring out really key notes to play between the chords and what you can get away with. It's just again kind of the next level of improvisation. So I'll play through it again slowly and just kind of listen to it. So. Right? That note, even though it sounds weird, sounds good. It resolves nicely to that B flat 7. So we go. But notice, we go into this weird territory for a second, but then we come right back to home territory when we land on that major third of B flat 7. Right? So we basically just got into that kind of outside chord just for 1 second, and then we got right back to familiar territory. But you can notice how that one note, the 1 or 2 notes there, really give a totally different color to the lick than something that we've done before that's much more straightforward. If we were to play this kind of in the style that we've done in the parts 1 and 2, we would play something like this. We'd go like, I don't know, something like that, right? Really straightforward, minor pentatonic notes, but just those couple little extra notes throughout there, it gives it a totally different feeling. Right? So that's the takeaway, and that's the little concept there. So I'll play through it one more time slowly. Okay, so let's play through this one here. This is lick 2, so it goes like this. So basically what we're doing here is it's kind of similar in concept to the last lick, where we're painting some unique notes before transitioning to the E flat 7. So I believe that we're going from B flat 7 to E flat 7 here. And basically what we're doing here is we're kind of going to the two minor chord. So the F minor 7 to the E flat 7. So it's similar to the last lick where we're kind of inserting a chord that's not actually being played. So the last time we were inserting the 5th before we went to the B flat 7, even though the transition was the notes we played included that F7 transition. And this one, we're transitioning to the F minor 7 to the E flat 7. So it's like, so that's where these first notes in the lick are coming from, right? This 9th, that's the minor 3rd of F. That's the root of F, the flat 7 of F. So, and then we're going to the 6, 7. Notice that that is the hammering up to the major 3rd of B flat. So it's like we're doing a 2, 5, 1. Right? So if you've ever tried jazz at all or studied it at all, a really common chord progression is the 2, 5, 1. That's like the most common chord progression in jazz, right? 2 minor to the 5 dominant to the 1, the dominant or the major 7. So again, the concept here is we're inserting chords that really aren't there. We're playing over chords that aren't there. The transition is just from the 5 to the 1, but we're playing a 2, 5, 1, right? So that's giving us some unique note choices that we wouldn't be getting if we just were playing our standard pentatonic scale, right? So bit of an advanced topic. So it's just one note really from each of those chords, but it's there. You can hear it, right? Just listen to this and listen to this. Right? The 2, 5, 1 is there. So again, this is not a lick that's like really hard to play. This does not take a lot of technical facility to be able to pull this off. The difficulty here is just the concept of what's happening in the background. So this is an idea you can take to expand other licks we've gone over. Throw a little 2, 5, 1 flavor in there like we did. So I'll play through it one more time. I think I've talked enough about this one. Okay, for lick 3, we're doing another 2, 5, 1, really. But this time we're going from the E flat to the B flat. In the previous licks we were going to the E flat. I think maybe we went to the B flat on one. In any case, we're going to the B flat, transitioning to the B flat on this one. So we have a couple arpeggios here, and that's where we're getting these unique notes from. And just listen to the sound of that really quick. I'll play through the lick once so you can hear how this sounds, how it sounds a little bit unique, and how it is a nice resolution. Once we get to that underlying B flat 7 chord and we land on this note, listen to how that sounds. That's really the key here, is how we're resolving to this chord. So. Sorry. More like it. So again, just listen to how that's resolving nicely to the B flat 7 chord when it gets there. That's what we're going for. So it's, again, these licks in this section are more about resolving to the chord as opposed to just landing on the target notes, kind of playing through the scale and then landing on that key note when you get there. This is a little bit more of a fluid transition between the chord changes and resolves a little more in a little more sophisticated of a way. So we're basically playing like a kind of like a 2-5-1 here if you look at it closely. So right, that's basically like a C diminished chord. A C diminished chord, so, and then this next two notes, so that would be like the 2 minor of the B flat 7. It's like a 2 diminished chord. In those two notes, that's like a F7 chord. So it's like we're going C, F, B flat. Right? And then the last notes we go, that's like playing just a chromatic note where we're rolling back to this note that is in the B flat 7 arpeggio. So, and that gives it a nice resolution. You know, that note right there it feels like it wants to go back to this 6, right? So again, it's like we're playing this C chord, C diminished chord. Sorry. Something like that. That's kind of what we're hinting at in the background. So let's play through this slowly again, and again just listen to, try and hear those chords in the background. Right, that's kind of what we're doing with the notes. So. Again. And that's it. That's the idea, and that's the lick. So hopefully you can take some of that idea and come up with some new applications for it. Do something creative. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you.